fellow Caymanians and residents alike, good afternoon. Yesterday, we all awoke to hear the news of a case of community transmission of the COVID-19 virus. By the end of the day, with the public health contact tracing personnel hard at work, that number had grown to 2 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the community, both of whom are from the same household. These events have a ripple effect, and there are likely dozens of individuals possibly exposed to the virus who have had to be quarantined. Before the night was over, we also learned of an individual who arrived here from overseas despite receiving a recent positive COVID-19 test result. Somehow, the pre-boarding checks failed to spot the positive test result and prevent the passenger from boarding the aircraft. The matter is under investigation, but regrettably, everyone on the flight has been quarantined. We are fortunate, though, that the border security checks at Owen Roberts International Airport did not fail, and the individual and the traveling companion were stopped and prevented from leaving the airport, and are both in quarantine. Our thoughts and prayers are with those who are ill and those impacted, and who are now in quarantine. I know that we are all grateful to the capable men and women of public health who work to keep us safe through their contact tracing program. Their work is continuing even as you listen to me here. I know that they will not stop at their work until they have located anyone else who is likely infected and try to determine the source of the current community infection. Both of these events are stark reminders that whilst we have lived in a bubble for some time, it will not take much for our circumstances to quickly change. The previous government that I was a part of helped take our islands through the dark days of lockdown. We understand firsthand the seriousness of this disease and the importance of the work that the elected government and the public service do to keep the country safe. I also mentioned yesterday that whilst the opposition has an obligation to hold the government accountable, we also have a responsibility to assist the government on matters that benefit the country. Just as we did when we were in government, the opposition will stand with the government in encouraging you to get your vaccine if you are not yet vaccinated. If you have had only 1 dose, please return for your second vaccination shot to ensure that you are fully protected. Vaccines remain our best hope to get protection from the virus and prevent severe illness and even death. We also stand with the government in reminding everyone of the importance of frequent hand washing, including the use of hand sanitizers, and wearing a mask wherever or whenever you attend places where there are many people nearby. Public transport, supermarkets, and retail stores are but 3 typical examples. On behalf of my colleagues in the opposition, I also ask that you pay close attention to public health advice in the coming weeks while we try to understand the extent of the community spread of the virus. Carefully follow their advice and use your common sense to keep yourself and your loved ones safe and protected. I also implore you not to start panic shopping. The grocery stores have confirmed that we have sufficient quantities of groceries, toiletries, and cleaning materials, and there is no need for you to stockpile unnecessarily. Panic buying not only brings unnecessary stress to the community, but you will also be spending money unwisely. Again, let us keep our heads and protect ourselves by getting vaccination and maintaining sensible hygiene practices. Yesterday, I was pleased to hear that the UK has completed initial approval for booster shots using the Pfizer vaccine. I hope that we will soon hear that we will be receiving vaccines to start our own booster program. A booster program that will provide improved protection across as broad a cross-section of the community as we need to, particularly the elderly and most vulnerable who would have been vaccinated earlier on. The availability and distribution of booster shots are essential before we move to open up any more than we currently are. As I said yesterday, much has changed, and for the worst. In the 3 months since the government and the opposition gave our views on how to proceed with opening up. We must undoubtedly open up, but we must also do everything we can to protect our people and give ourselves the best chance to open our borders to tourism successfully and safely. Before closing, I wish to note that whilst the incident with the passenger arriving here with a positive COVID-19 test is being investigated by the airline, it behooves the government to conduct an independent investigation and review all of the protocols that we have implemented to keep us safe and determine whether these need to be enhanced and improved. Such a review is important before we have more airlines and passengers arriving on our shores. Perhaps airlines flying in should have more than one check for a valid PCR test before passengers board an aircraft. Perhaps we should reintroduce the GPS wristbands for those quarantining at home out of an abundance of caution. These are but examples, as I do not necessarily know the right answer. But I do know that if I were leading the government, I would ask for a full review of all key processes, and I would expect answers and confirmation that the processes have been strengthened where this is needed. I trust that the government is already considering such a review, and if so, then great. If not, then I do ask that they can carry one out. In closing, I ask that you do what you know you should do to keep yourself and your family safe. Assist your neighbors to be safe, especially the elderly. We are our brothers and sisters keepers, and by working together and helping each other, getting vaccinated and listening to public health advice, we can continue to have a safer and stronger future for our beloved Cayman Islands. May Almighty God continue to keep our people safe and bless our beloved Cayman Islands. And please enjoy the weekend ahead. Thank you.